Crescent Pale Mist is a 2.5D side-scrolling action platformer developed by Sony Online Entertainment Studios and published by Rock and Android. You know, the standard fare every other reviewer says that you can get in 200ths of a second with a screenshot. Pictures are worth 1,000 words, kids. Thanks, Captain Boredom. What are you going to tell me next? That I play the game with a controller? Most major websites ignored the game, and those that didn't made the joke that it sounds like a soft drink because of Sierra Mist. It's like they got a generic template for bad reviewing shtick. You know, I always thought it sounded like a feminine hygiene product, so if you're gonna go with a joke, you gotta own it.
Does your pussy smell like sour milk in a shrimp factory? What can you do when you are afraid to stand downwind of your partner?
No artificial anything? Just vinegar and water?
There's a fear that people are holding their breath around you.
Pre-mixed, pre-measured, sanitary.
Learn to take control again. Confident he'll lick your for hours.
Look how cleverly it's designed.
Crescent Pale Mist, cause your stinks.
Lets you feel fresh, and it lasts all day.
Okay, bad shtick aside, the Japanese developer is actually classic Shikoru Shu. Shikokairo. And you take the game as wait a minute, oh fuck this, I'm gonna call her Juno. Find out Juno was a member of the Grayskull Research Alliance, which was a member of an ancient order where they participated and practiced magic that was considered widely taboo. It's sort of like West Virginia, because what happens in Grayskull stays in Grayskull. War broke out, and for the second time, the ancient sages invoked the magic of the forbidden. And this is actually where the game begins, because the second use of the forbidden is what plummets Grayskull into an even more taboo no man's land where Crescent Pale Mist is seeping into the real world. And since Juno was one of the only people who could control it, she decided to go find the source of the leakage and put an end to it. You know, she's kind of like Harry Potter mixed with Hans Brinker, the little Dutch boy who put his finger in a dike to stop the water. What, too literate? You. Juno's main attack is her sword, which she uses to hack, slash, and cliche her way throughout the levels. But she's not alone in this. She has a single dagger, multiple daggers, she can teleport dagger, she can also use the Crescent Pale Mist to summon the Fear magic, look at it drain that energy, and the dreaded what is it, German? What the fuck? Rovenveld magic, which is your strongest. Repeated melee attacks will allow you to increase your overall Pale Mist capacity, which allows you to use the Pale Mist magic for as long as you have it available. It will slowly rebuild over time. However, if you overuse it, you will get a magic burst and cause yourself some damage. You can also collect the Pale Mist, and as long as you have it available, you can eject the Pale Mist from your body and cast your magic against your enemies. There's a slight delay when you try and do this, and if you get hit during it, you won't be able to cast it, but if you get it off, it's quite deadly. The constraints on your Pale Mist is one of the things that makes this game challenging. The other challenging aspect is the bizarre and often palette-swapped enemies that you'll come in contact with. From jellies to mystical knights to wizards, deadly pumpkins, and my favorite, the Jay Leno-style robotic banana face. And I make fun of other people having bad shtick. As crazy as these enemies are, they will kick your ass, because once you get hit, it becomes almost impossible to start blocking, and you'll get caught in a never-ending energy-draining barrage. I don't know what magic the bosses have, but I want it. From heat seekers to rooms filled with bullet hell and possibility, they will frustrate and challenge you. And the larger bosses will not only have multiple hit points, but each one of those multiple hit points will fill the entire screen. And as you can see, your blades do little damage. It's like shooting spitballs at the son of a bitch. The path in the game is non-linear, allowing you to go forwards and backwards throughout the 2.5D to find the best route to the boss. Hidden throughout the levels are your power-ups, which will increase your hit points, attack, and defense, and you will need these items to be able to defeat the bosses. They're generally guarded by some of the stronger enemies, but you will have to find them all in order to advance, otherwise it's going to make things very challenging. The worst part is there are no continuation points in any of the levels until you reach the boss. So if you die before you get them, you have to go and find them all over again. The levels themselves are not lacking in jumping and platforming challenges either. You'll have to use Juno's wall jumping ability to be able to get through some very narrow and challenging parts of the levels. Or there are seemingly easy platforming challenges that are littered with enemies who do not stop, and this becomes difficult because Juno gets knocked very easily once she runs out of her endurance block. Halfway through the game, they stop telling you which way to go, and you're going to have to use your eyes and wits to figure out which is the best path to the boss. as it really isn't always obvious and you'll have to use every resource and trick that you have to get there. Critics of the game actually cited a lackluster tutorial, which I thought was pretty witty at times, as well as bland and boring stage design, but the stages are supposed to be bland and boring. You're supposed to get lost and not be able to find your way. That's the challenge, to be able to get through the levels and find your way, because there's no continuation points to the boss. The hit detection isn't poor, it's challenging. It's an action platformer, non-linear, mixed with a beat-em-up, which means you have to learn how to block and parry to be able to get through the levels and not get killed. Despite its flaws, I had fun playing it. I like the game. One of the best things about it is Juno's sexuality isn't overemphasized. There isn't much made about her actually being a female. She's not dressed in 2 strings and a pasty, or doing some fantabulous over-sexualized stunts, or subservient to the other male characters in the game. She's just a woman whooping ass. And what is wrong with that? And because of all this, I give Crescent Pale Mist, for as bland as it is, a solid 6. Shut up, there's nothing wrong with that. And the most fantabulous part about the game is it's only $6 US on the PlayStation Network. All you have to do is go, right, it's down and you can't go there and get it. Oh, you mean the whole time I've been working on this game, the PlayStation Network's been down and they can't get it back up, and you can't go play the game I'm talking about unless you Google it? Fucking siren. Seriously, did you have to get in a fucking accident now? Cocksuckers. Learn to drive. I'm trying to record here. Yee! A person better be hurt.